way. I'm always on my way and I'm coming home. As you travel through this life, I hope you realize your white blood is your chance to fly away. As you spread your wings and reach for the heavens, there'll be painting rainbows along the way. And now that I'm home, I feel like I'm flying. I feel like I'm soaring away. Well, I'm always on my way. Well, I'm always on my way. I'm always on my way, and I'm coming home. As the morning dawn awakens, as the full moon shimmers its light away, lend your hand to another, and we can all fly away. Now that I'm home, I feel like I'm flying. I feel like I'm soaring away, my friends. I feel like I'm soaring away. I feel like I'm soaring away. Thank you.
Judy, you're on.
Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek. To seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. This is our third worship service on Zoom to bring us together. And if this is your first time, a special welcome. And I hope you enjoy the experience. We are proud to be a part of a diverse and non-creedal religion. As a covenantal religion, we don't have to believe the same in order to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. Our community is based on deeds, not creeds. As a welcoming UU congregation, we side with love, committing to, embracing, and promoting the worth and dignity of all people. Upon the completion of the service, we will remain online to allow our members and friends to engage in some social time and for an Easter parade. Thank you for joining our service.
At this time, please join me as we light our chalice. We light this chalice, a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. Its base represents our history and living tradition. The bowl includes all truth seekers and justice makers, and the flame provides the transformative power of love. Spirit of light and life, come unto us.
Our opening song this morning is We Will Not Stop Singing. This is a call and response song that I began as a collaborative project for our congregation in this time when we're apart. You may have seen the announcement in your most recent unigram. This song was designed for each individual to have an opportunity to share their experience of this time in music and hopefully bring us together until we can sing again. If you'd like to contribute lyrics to the song, please email them to music@uucolumbia.org. And you'll see as we're singing today the contributions that have already been made by our UUCC members. I'll be singing the words in the call column, and I invite you to sing the response. We will not stop singing. Although you won't be able to hear each other, I invite you to sing from your own homes. The time has come now when we must be apart. We will not stop singing, though divided by space, still connected heart to heart. We will not stop singing. May our spirits take wing, carrying love in every sound we sing. The time has come now, though we must be apart. We will not stop singing, all together singing. Sweet community, sing out with a still true voice. We will not stop singing, to despair or hope. We always have a choice. We will not stop singing. When the tears cloud our eyes, vision from a deeper source may rise. Take comfort, my friend, in a voice that never dies. We will not stop singing, all together singing. Grateful, for we are blessed. We will not stop singing, unified by what makes us best. We will not stop singing, opening the gates so we can see our 7 principles that set us free. Grateful, for we are blessed. We will not stop singing, all together singing. Each day that we live in unabated fear, we will not stop singing. Our hearts are so heavy, darkness ever near. We will not stop singing. When our sense is near despair, we hold to faith that others care. Remember this truth that all human beings share. We will not stop singing, all together singing. The night time falls, ending yet another day. We will not stop singing, wondering, will it always be this way? We will not stop singing. Oh, and then morning breaks, birdsong and dancing sunlight when we wake. Remembering It won't always be this way. We will not stop singing, all together singing, when uncertainty wraps us in its shroud. We will not stop singing, when fears hover like the darkest cloud. We will not stop singing. We'll be stronger than before. United voices, loud and clear, will soar, until we are hand in hand and arm in arm once more. We will not stop singing, all together singing.
It was March 2020. Streets were empty, stores closed. People couldn't go out anymore. But spring didn't know. Flowers began to bloom. Sun was shining. Birds were singing. Sky was blue. It was March 2020. Young people studied online, found jobs at home. People couldn't shop anymore or go to the hairdresser. Soon, there were no rooms in hospitals, and people continued to get sick. But spring didn't know. Time to go to the garden was coming. It was March 2020. People had been put on lockdown to protect grandparents, families, and children. No more family reunions or parties. Fear has become real, and the days looked alike. But spring didn't know. Apple trees, cherry trees, and leaves grew. People started reading, playing with family, learning a language, sitting on the balcony by inviting neighbors to do the same. It was March 2020. People realized the importance of health, the suffering of economy that fell down. But spring didn't know. The flowers left their place for fruits. The birds made their nests. Then release day came. Virus lost. People went down the street singing, crying, hugging their neighbors without masks or gloves. And that's when summer came. Spring had been there in spite of the virus, fear, and death, because spring didn't know. It taught people the power of life.
Thank you, Judy, for sharing that beautiful reading. So relevant to what's going on right now. Beautiful when poetry comes out of the crisis that you're in, to give words, creative words to what we are experiencing. This time we're going to move into a part of our service where we have candles of community and have an opportunity to share some concerns with each other. I will remind you, if you'd like to share a candle or have something read during this time, that you can email either me or email Andrea, and we'll make sure that it is read during this time in the service so that we can continue to support each other and hold each other even during this time of distance. I have a couple that I want to read today. First of all, Judy Turnip Seed wants us to know that the Turnip Seed family, after a scare, are safe. Her son Jeff, wife Cindy, and grandchildren Sam and Madeline all had the coronavirus. Jeff and Sam had a light case with only a fever and a very bad headache. Jeff had the test that was positive. Cindy had a more serious case. Madeline had mono when she got the virus, so her immune system was compromised. She got pneumonia too and was quite ill for about 10 days. But the celebration is today that all of them have now recovered, and so we are certainly thankful for that. We also have another joy to celebrate. Brandy Mims has been accepted to the USC's graduate school in the counselor education program for clinical mental health, and we are certainly celebrating with you this morning, Brandy. We also had a message that is available from our partner church in Romania, and so we are holding them in our thoughts this morning and sending positive energy their way as they are celebrating Easter from a distance as well, and from a distance from each other, and really from the minister, Zoltz, who has had to move up to the cottage in the mountains because of the low immune system that he has, and he wanted to be able to share with us, and hopefully we are able to get that message out so that everyone can see that. And of course, we are holding us all during this time of crisis, everybody who's battling on the front lines and trying to deal with the effects of the virus, no matter what it looks like. And so we are holding all of those people this morning in our thoughts, and the families of those who have died, and the patients and the families who are still dealing with their sickness. Let's have a time of silence, just a few seconds to hold all of these thoughts and remember all of these people. I want to use this opportunity to remind you that during this time of distance, that if you need someone who can reach out to you or you would like to be able to connect with and share a concern, please don't hesitate to contact either the caring committee, and the email address is there on the screen. You can contact me. We can set up virtual visits. We can set up conversations and reach out and provide the care that you need. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us during this time. I'm going to turn it back over to Judy, who is going to introduce us to our, remind us of our Share the Plate this month.
Each Sunday, half of our cash collection goes to a local community organization. This month, our Share the Plate recipient is Mercy. Mercy, which is Mental Illness Recovery Center, assists individuals with mental illness to recover in the areas of their lives impacted by their illness through housing, behavioral health care, and assistance with obtaining and managing their disability income. When you write your check, you may write Share the Plate in the memo line.
I invite you to join me in enjoying today's offertory music, Ladybug Parade, composed by Rod Brown. The instrumentalists for this recording that you'll hear are Rod Brown on guitar and Micah Gangwer on violin. Please give us just a moment while we open the recording in another screen.
there any way that we can just go into have Jane start?
Okay, our speaker today is Jane Lawther, who is a UU by way of United Methodism. Well, except that there are no UUs in Montana. So Jane and JP serve their fellow Montanans in a local United Methodist church. Here at UUCC, Jane enjoys singing in the adult choir and listening to the debates in the forum. Her winters here in South Carolina are spent volunteering at River Springs Elementary. She has a passion for delittering and uses the walk from home to school to pick up and recycle the surprises she finds along the road. She is honored to share her thoughts today.
Go ahead. I'm not seeing it switch over. Should be on.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome. You and I are about to launch ourselves into a thinking adventure. We're going to be looking at things, especially the COVID-19, in a different way. I heard of a dog that was so happy when everyone was home that his tail stopped wagging. The family took him to the vet. The vet said that he had sprained his tail from excessive wagging. Unlike Reverend Stephen's dog last week that he told us about it, who went upstairs to hide, this dog was so happy that he sprained his tail. And this is different from a person who might be an introvert or a pessimist or paranoid or a germaphobe standing in isolation. What are we making of this virus? Are there other ways to look at this pandemic? When faced with adversity, challenges, troubles, and problems, we have a choice. It's not what happens to us that counts. It's what we make of it. I will return to this idea several times while we're together this morning. It's not what happens to us that counts. It's what we make of it. What are we making of the coronavirus? Through what lenses are we looking at the closing down of our cities and our states and our nation? How do we reframe the picture we see? We can choose how we perceive the virus. We can choose what we make of it. So I choose to look at as many of the positive features as I can of this plague that has spread so viciously across our planet. I have read vast research from my valued philosophical source, Facebook. Many of my UU friends listening, as well as many of my UU friends and family from other states, have posted very reflective and positive ideas. Like the weather, an alien attack, a worldwide virus brings all of humanity together in a united effort to deal with it. We UUs know that one of our principles includes a goal of world community. New York Times writer David Brooks calls it social solidarity. Adlerian psychology calls it social interest. A common challenge can bring out the best in all of us. We hear much less about war in the Middle East and Afghanistan, for example, as we humans think and act together about the way to save lives and care for the sick. We are amazed at our brothers and sisters across the globe as they creatively develop masks and gloves and respirators to support the medical community. We see brave doctors and nurses and technicians and staff work under life-threatening conditions to help their fellow human beings. Remember what Fred Rogers' mother said to him when he saw scary news stories? Look for the helpers. On this Easter Sunday, our Christian partners are remembering what being Easter people is all about. Hope, joy, celebration of springtime, and the awakening of the earth from its winter sleep, based on the heathen equinox. The Christian world bursts forth with spring clothing, colors, hats, hats, hats. There's no place like hope, they say. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote, "I wish it need not have happened in my time," said Frodo. "So do I," said Gandalf, "and so do all who live to see such times." But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Remember, it's not what happens to us that counts, it's what we make of it. Gutpreet Gill, an energy healer, shared these thoughts called, "What if?" What if we subscribe to the philosophy that life is always working out for us? That there is intelligence far greater than humans at work? That all of what is happening and all of us are connected? What if the virus is here to help us? To reset, to remember what is truly important. Reconnecting with family and community, reducing travel so that the environment, the skies, the air, and our lungs all get a break. Parts of China are seeing blue sky for the first time in recent memory, with their factories being shut down. Working from home rather than commuting to work provides less pollution and more personal time. Reconnecting with family since there's more time at home, it's an invitation to turn inward, a deep meditation rather than the usual extroverted going out to self-soothe. To reconnect with self, asking what is really important to me. What if a reset economically shows us the working poor, the lack of healthcare access for over 30 million in the United States, the need for paid sick leave? How hard does one have to work to be able to live, to have a life outside of work? Do we live to work or work to live? What if this virus is an ally in our evolution? In our remembrance of what it means to be connected, humane, living a simpler life, to be less impactful and more kind to our environment. It was time for a change. We all knew that, and change has arrived. Project Forgive invites us, instead of seeing social distancing and travel bans as panic, for us to try seeing them as acts of mass cooperation intended to protect the collaborative whole, the collective whole. It's not about individuals going into hiding. It's a global deep breath, an agreement among humans around the planet to be still. Be still in hopes that the biggest wave can pass without engulfing too many of the most vulnerable among us. Who would have thought that our entire planet would be facing a common challenge? And who would have thought how many of us would cooperate? Here is a very interesting letter from the virus to human beings. It is written by Kristen Flintz. Stop. Just stop. It is a mandate. We will bring this high-speed merry-go-round to a halt. We will stop planes and trains and schools and malls and meetings and the obligations that keep you from hearing your single shared beating heart. We interrupt this broadcast of divisions and distractions to bring you this news. We are not well, none of us. The fires that scorched the earth did not give us pause, nor the typhoons in Africa, China, Japan, nor the fevered climates and resulting ashes scattered across the planet. We have not been listening. It is hard to listen when we are so busy all the time hustling for comforts and conveniences. The foundation is giving way, buckling under our needs and desires. We, the virus, will help you out. We will bring firestorms to your body, the burning and flooding to your lungs, that you might hear, you are not well. We are not the enemy, we are the messenger. We are allies. We are a balance. We ask you to stop, to be still, to listen, and to consider the needs of all. Look up into the sky, streaked with fewer planes and noise. Look at a tree. How does its health contribute to the health of the sky, the air, the earth? Visit a river. How much do you need it to be healthy? Many are afraid in this time. Let the fear speak to you. Listen to its wisdom. What is at work, at risk? Look beyond the threats of personal inconvenience and illness. Ask what we, your voices, can teach us about illness, healing, and what may be needed so that all will be well. We, the coronavirus, will help you if you listen. It's not what happens to us that counts. It's what we make of it. A friend of mine said because of the coronavirus, she has time to do all those projects that she didn't have time to do before. She's also learning that not having time is not the only reason that she hasn't cleaned closets and drawers and windows, etc. When we can't control what's happening, we can challenge ourselves to control the way we respond to what's happening. That's where our power is, the way we respond to what's happening. So we celebrate the truckers who get our supplies to the store, the cruise lines that offer their fully staffed facilities just as the Navy hospital ships did. We celebrate women and children making homemade masks, distilleries making sanitizers from leftover ingredients, restaurants serving takeout, volunteers feeding the hungry, the NBA basketball players saying, hold our basketballs while we write checks to pay the arena staff. We celebrate Zoom. so that we at the UUC can connect. We can see each other with our names under our faces. You see, it's not what happens to us that counts, it's what we do with it. I will close with these words of wisdom from Laura Kelly Fanucci. And when this is over, may we never take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the store, conversations with neighbors, a crowded theater, Friday night out, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, and the stadium. When this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be, we hope to be, and may we stay that way, better and longer for each other. Blessed be. Now Anna will help us with our closing hymn.
I invite you to join me in singing our closing hymn for the beauty of the earth, number 21 from Singing the Living Tradition. Like our other sing-alongs, you won't be able to hear each other here on Zoom, but I invite you to sing heartily from your own homes. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour, of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild, source of all to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
We extinguish this flame, committed to going forth, remembering that it's not what happens to us that counts, it's what we make of it. Until we are
Want to say it again?
no, I've been muted with the host.
I invite you to join in singing our congregational benediction, led today by Richard McLeod.
the blessings of truth be upon us. May the power of love direct us, and may the peace of this community sustain us till we meet again.